Just give me nose a good wipe so I've not got any dewdrops hanging off the end of it while I'm filming. I fancied a change of geology today. My last 3 wild camps I've been in sort of like Millstone Grit areas, South Pennines, Forest of Bowland, Peak District. So I fancied a change today, so I've come up to the Northern Fells in the Lake District and I'm sat just on the hillside above Carrick Beck. Up there I can just see Carrick Fell, which is a Wainwright I've done before, and I'm just heading up one called High Pike, which I've not done before. I'm not sure where I'm going to be staying tonight in the hills. I initially thought about wild camping on Carrick Fell, but I'm keeping an open mind about Lingy Hut. I've never stayed in a bothy, so I don't know. We'll have a look at it and see what it's like. This steep-sided gully here looks like a mining hush that you get in North Pennines. Although there is a lot of mining in these Northern Fells. Smashed it! I don't really say smashed it. It's one of them sayings, one of them 21st century sayings that really irritates me. Smashed it. Everybody says it nowadays. Yeah, so I'm on the top of High Pike and it is an absolutely just spectacular place. On a day like this, the views are brilliant. Carrick Fell, Blencathra, Skiddaw, looking across at Pennines. It's like cloud drifting across the top. It's really, really nice. Although it's a bit chilly when you stop, but no, I'm not complaining at all. I'm just going to sit here a bit, get a bite to eat, and then I shall make my way to the next hill, mountain of the day, Knot. Today, as per usual with me, it didn't get off to a very good start. I was up early this morning. I was up at 5. I wanted to get away early, beat the traffic. And I decided to sleep on couch. Because in the morning, I always tend to wake the missus up and she gets right cross with me. I think I've got everything. And I think, oh, I forgot my keys. I go into the bedroom and tread on a plug or something and hurt my feet. And then I'll come out thinking I've got everything. Then I go back in because I need my wallet and I'll be fumbling around, knocking potted plants over and that. So I kept on the couch last night, which were fine. I slept okay, I got everything downstairs, so I didn't wake the household. Just as I was leaving, I was bringing the milk in off the doorstep. Just got to the fridge and I dropped a bottle and smashed it. Just bloody milk and glass everywhere. What a horrible clean-up job that were. And I'm paranoid about fragments of glass I've missed in case people go in the bare feet and tread on some, so that's a pretty thorough clean. Milk's bloody awful, isn't it? If you don't get it all up, it stinks after a few days, so just hope for the best. So this is Lingy Hut. A lot of graffiti. Nice view out at window. So that was Lingy Hut. It's still in my mind as a potential base for the night. Although I did notice on a couple of sleeping platforms puddles of water. So I don't know whether that's just condensation or the roof leaks. I don't know yet. Anyway, I've got to come back this way, so I'll give it some thought and then who knows. So this is the summit of Knot, and it's quite a good viewpoint. There's Skiddaw, moving round to Blencathra and Mungrisdale Common, Bowscale Fell, Carrick Fell, High Pike where we were earlier, and northwards I'm looking at Solway there, which I can see with naked eye. It's a bit hazy, but the GoPro won't pick it up. Actually, I tell a lie, you might just be able to see it just above my finger around there's Criffle. Did that many years ago. I'll tell you what, it's got a lot colder. I think I got a temperature reading at just over 6 degrees on High Pike. Up here, it's 1 point summit, big difference, and you can see frost forming in the little shadowy hollows. And I got a wind chill of -6. Very, very cold up here. I'm just going to sit here a bit and have a bit of my picnic and that. Lingy Hut is starting to sort of come up on the rails. I'm seriously considering spending the night there. I quite fancy it. If I get there and it's taken or whatever, then it's out of my hands. Then I'll carry on to Carrick Fell. But I'm seriously thinking about it now. It might be the #1 option. Well, a load of freezing fog's just come in. Oh, it is cold now, especially when you're sat there. So I'm making my way back down the way I came up. I'm going to get some water from the little brook below Lingy Hut. I'm going to sit in Lingy Hut and I'm going to ponder some more. Well folks, the bothy wins. Well done bothy. It's quite early really, but nah, I want to stay here. Never stayed in one, so I might as well. Carrick Fell's just over there. I don't know, from here another couple of miles, so it means a bit of a longer walk in the morning back to the car, but that's no big deal. The weather can do what it wants now. It'd be quite nice if it snowed or something, wouldn't it? That'd be exciting. So I'm going to dump my stuff for a bit. I might have a little potter around the area. Notice a little outcrop of rocks down here, so I might go and have a look at that because the geology is interesting in this area. But I shall speak to you in a while. I've just took a little walk just down the hillside from the bothy, which is just up there. I noticed as I was approaching it, this little cluster of rocks hereabouts. It looks interesting, and the geology is interesting in this area. But unfortunately, they're absolutely caked in lichen. I suppose that's a sign of the clean air up here. And there's no fresh surfaces to identify the rock. A likely candidate, though, is the rock that makes up the bulk of Carrick Fell over there, and that's a rock called Gabbro. I mentioned Gabbro in one of my videos up here before. And it's an unusual rock in the Lake District. I don't know anywhere else in the lakes that has it. Famously, it's on the Isle of Skye, the Cooling. But in the lakes, it's confined to Carrick Fell. And it's a large, crystalled, coarse-grained, basic igneous rock. And there's some nice examples hereabouts, but we are close to Carrick Fell, so these could be Gabbro. In fact, I thought that was a broken surface there, it's just another lichen. Underneath these northern fells as well, we've got the Skiddaw granite, which is baked the surrounding rocks. So we've got some metamorphic rocks up here as well. As far as I'm aware, the Skiddaw granite doesn't outcrop much in these northern fells. I think it does just over the hill in one of the like valleys over there. But yeah, like I said, that's altered some of the surrounding geology, and you get weird rocks like horn fells, which is formed like in close contact to igneous intrusions where the rocks have been severely baked. I've had another leak on my mat, very slow puncture. I found it on my last walk. Unlike last time, I had to send it away to sea to Summit and sent this replacement. After a lot of searching, I managed to find it. I dumped it in the bath, and it was the tiniest hole. I don't know what caused it. It could have been a tiny sliver of sharp dead grass. I've no idea. Anyway, I've patched it up with a repair kit that came with it. So we'll see how it holds. And star of a recent Treasury video, which has a viral online hit for all the best reasons. It's a pandemic that says the data being gathered by councils is incomplete. I've bought new light for me, well, for vlogging really, so hopefully you'll be able to see me a bit better rather than using just a feeble sort of tent lantern. It's almost 6 o'clock now. It's pitch black outside, bloody freezing, cold. And if you go outside and expose yourself to the wind coming from the west, yeah, so it's a biting wind. I've just been sat around really listening to radio, trying to get a bit more organised than that. I've had a look outside, it's quite cloudy. It's been quite a transformation in the conditions really. It was lovely and bright and sunny. And then as I got onto the knot, I don't know whether it was that, because it was so exposed to the west, it was bloody fleeing, and then that freezing fog come in. And that put like a coating of rime on the grass in a pretty short space of time. Although on the way up here, there were certainly, we're weeks away from the spring equinox, but there were certain little seasonal signs that things are moving along nicely. I stopped at T-Bay on the way up for a toilet break, and I noticed all the rooks were in the conifers across the car park, all gathering round the nests. I mean, they're early nesters anyway. I had a little stop at Mungrisdale Church, and the snowdrops were in the just starting to appear at the bottom of the walls and stuff, so that were nice. And then walking alongside Carrot Beck, there was a dipper singing, and again they're an early breeder, they'll be staking out the territories now. A couple of times today as well, we had skeins of pink-footed geese going over. Now around here I'd be expecting them to be heading for Solway, but they were certainly going northeast, probably crossing Pennines over onto the Northumbrian coast and that, maybe, I don't know, maybe around Budle Bay or somewhere. I'm just reading Wainwrights Book 5, The Northern Fells, because it covers this area, of course. And I always like in his guidebooks the personal notes and conclusion at the end. And I love these northern fells, me. And Wainwright basically says they're not as good as some of the other areas of the Lake District, not as dramatic, the landscape, etc. But he does add, and this fits in with why I like them so much,
he says, but they have one great attraction the other fells are fast losing. For the walker who prefers solitude, for the naturalist, they offer undisturbed enjoyment at all seasons of the year. They are a perfect bank holiday refuge. Yeah, that's why I love these northern fells. They're just quieter than other areas of the Lake District, and once you're on the tops as well, you can just stride out. Just really nice. It's a nice open airy feeling to these fells that I like. There's not that sense of sort of feeling hemmed in or anything. Right, well, it's just turned 10 o'clock and that's me ready for bed. I'm not going to sleep straight away. I've just listened to City and Arsenal football on radio. I'll turn that off now, that's finished. I've been doing a bit of reading, but I'm going to get in the bag, sleeping bag. Outside the sleeping bag it's freezing, really cold. In the sleeping bag it's fine, so I'm going to get back in the sleeping bag. I'm going to turn the lights out and I'm going to listen to part 2 of The Disappearance of Shergar as told by Vanilla Ice. I don't know about Vanilla Ice, bloody icy in here. And I'll probably nod off to that. So that's it for tonight, and I'll speak to you in the morning. Good night. What a complete airbag. I've just been talking to this and my bloody microphone plugged in, switched on. Yeah, it's just turned 7:30. I've been up since 7 o'clock. It's been a cold night. I work cold. I slept pretty well actually. But God, the air's cold in here. I say I work cold. I got up about, I think it was about 1:30. I needed a wee, so I nipped outside. Bloody freezing outside, really clear. Nice starry night actually. Anyway, I lost all that heat. When I got back in my sleeping bag, it took me a bit to warm up again, but I nodded off again. Woke up about 6. I sort of dozed for an hour really. Yeah, I decided to get up about 7. It's coming light outside now. The weather during the night were right up and down. Sometimes it was just silent, and then there'd be some spells of quite high winds, and then there was some heavy rain this morning pattering on the roof. But no, it's been an interesting first night in a bothy. Very, very cold this one. A couple of people told me it's a cold bothy even in summer. So I think the next one I stayed, I'd like it to have a fire. But they're quite good. No spiders either. Don't like spiders. So if it were all webby and spidery, I'd definitely use the tent. No sign of mice either. That's good. I didn't want any of my gear getting nibbled. So I'm going to finish packing up. I've done a fair bit already. Suck my brew, and then we'll hit the road. I love stuff like this. Just look at that, how sheepfold there. Looks right ancient, ramshackle. Wonder who built that. I always wonder things like that. Right, well, I'm getting all excited about sheepfold. I might as well use this opportunity to fire things off now for today. I took a chance on the weather. I didn't put my waterproofs on. And yeah, I think it was the right choice. We haven't had any more rain, although high up you were in fog. And it would damp. You could feel like the just moisture settling on your clothes and stuff. But that was quite a swift descent. Not far back to the car now. That was a fantastic trip. That was a good one. That when I look back on this year, that'll be high up there. So glad I stayed in a bothy. It's something I've always wanted to do. Nice easy sort in the morning, not wrapping your tent up and stuff. Won't need to dry my tent when I get home, so it'll be nice and tidy around the house. That'll keep everybody happy. So thanks for watching, look after yourselves, and I'll see you next time.